head that pleases you. So today we're going to start with the Vanguard, the leading story from the front of the Nigerian tabloid, which is the Vanguard newspaper. How federal government's 2.3 billion euro electricity project failed. Federal government begins new phase after failure of 5-year 25,000 megawatts plan, and experts list implications. Transmission distribution challenges persist, and also the economic growth, job creation will remain subdued. How federal government's 2.3 billion euro electricity project failed. And also Peterside condemns El Rufai's continued detention. Serap sues federal government over phone tapping rules. 2027 polls, parties scramble to meet Electoral Act deadline. Now at the top of the Vanguard newspaper, hope rises for PDP as Benga Hashim's shuttle diplomacy yields breakthrough. And also amid terror surge in Kayama, how tourists grown as petrol nears 1,200 per litre. Dangote suspends fuel sale briefly amid rising prices, marketers say, and also Nigeria triples crude imports from US in 1 year amid rising local shortage. And also rising opposition attacks sparks concern ahead 27 elections. 2027, Lagos APC vows to reverse 2023 presidential loss. IWD, Tinubu, governors seek stronger policies for women's empowerment. Now, the top part of the Punch newspaper says there's a story here. Debt servicing surpasses capital spending by 3.9 trillion naira in 2 years. Pope warns of regional spillover from Israel-Iran war. And also FAAC subcommittees get 11.5 billion naira for 2026 budget planning. And the last leading story from the front of the Punch newspaper is battle for PDP. Makinde Wiki camps brace for appeal court verdict today. You can pick a copy of the Punch newspaper to get the full details. Moving on to the Guardian newspaper. The leading story from the front of the Guardian newspaper. Shareholders may forfeit dividends as CBN penalizes insider abuse. That's the leading story from the front of the Guardian newspaper. Walk the talk on security emergency, Ndumi tells Tinubu. PDP governors preach peace ahead of appeal court's verdict on party leadership, and also women stakeholders harp on empowerment, inclusion on International Day. 2027 polls will be Nigerians against bad leadership, says Peter Obi, and petrol price may hit 1,400 naira per litre as Dangote refinery loading stalls. And also NHRC raises alarm over early marriages. And also Serap sues federal government over alleged mass phone tapping regulations. Customs blames banks, others for failed 24 hours port operations. And also the last leading story that we're going to look at from the Guardian newspaper says bandits attack Sokoto community as Zamfara holds emergency security meeting. The Nigerian Tribune is next. The leading story from the front of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Electoral Act, political parties differ over IPAC's threat to boycott 2027 elections. It is desirable, says NNPP. It's too early, but not foreclosed, says ADC. Our focus is how to put our house in order. That's coming from the Labour Party LP. And also we are against undemocratic schemes of APC-controlled National Assembly, says the SDP. We will encourage them to boycott, says APC lawyers. And also from the top part of the Nigerian Tribune, resolution of OPL 245 dispute turning point for oil and gas sector. AGF Fagbemi is the one saying that one. And also ADC flays Akpabio for dismissing opposition's objections to Electoral Act 2026. Still from the top of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Iran war, federal government activates diplomatic channels, consular alerts to protect citizens, and also editors inaugurate committee on research, training, and also publications. Benin City wins $1 million Global Innovation Prize in Bloomberg Mayor's Challenge. And also, hope rises for PDP as Olawepo's shuttle diplomacy yields breakthrough. Now, the down part of the front of the Nigerian Tribune says shockwaves across construction sector as cement sells between 11,500 naira and 15,000 naira per bag. NLC raises alarm over alleged 20 billion naira heist in TCN. Now it's time for the newspaper you can trust, which is the Daily Trust newspaper. The front of the Daily Trust newspaper, the leading story: Middle East war pushes up petrol and also food prices. Many feared death in Adamawa communal clash. Iran names Khamenei's son, Mujtaba, new supreme leader. And also the down part says lawyers, ADC to ICPC, charge or release El Rufai. Borno, Boko Haram in control of Ngoshi locals. 7 die, 18 injured in Benue, Lagos auto crash. And also, Taraba residents decry high rents. Those are the leading stories from the front of the newspaper you can trust, which is the Daily Trust newspaper. Moving on to the Blueprint newspaper. From the front of it, you can see there's a leading story that says it will take hundreds of years to achieve gender equality. This one is coming from the United Nations, that is UN. Tinubu, wife, Akpabio, others hail Nigerian women's resilience and also their integrity. And the top part of the Blueprint newspaper: NDLEA arrests ex-Lagos councillor with 40 kg skunk, seizes IEDs. And also, troops neutralize 45 bandits in Katsina, lose captain, 2 others most unfortunate. Middle East war, expert predicts more money for federal government, governors as hostilities rage, transporters hike fares in Abuja and Jos. Now, those are the leading stories from the front of the Blueprint newspaper. Working in Nigeria's interest is their motto. Whether you have it, and those are the newspapers that we have sampled the headlines, and it came to you from Frontline TV. Pick a copy, peruse through, comment and share. Don't forget, we'll still be back much more later on with more of the headlines from our Nigerian tabloids. Musa Khan is my name from Frontline TV. Do have a wonderful day. Bye for now.
Life doesn't always move as fast as we want. Sometimes we find ourselves waiting for answers, waiting for change, waiting for a new thing to begin. Hello and welcome to Picture Talk on Frontline TV. Today we'll be talking about waiting. Not the kind of waiting we choose, but the kind of waiting life places in us. Places us in. Let's look at the first picture. This image feels quiet. Nothing dramatic is happening. No movement, just waiting. Most of us don't like waiting. We want progress. We want clarity. We want things to happen now. But life often moves differently. There are seasons where nothing seems to change. You try, you hope, you plan, yet everything feels paused. Waiting can feel uncomfortable because it forces us to slow down. It removes distractions and leaves us alone with our thoughts. This picture reminds us that waiting is not always wasted time. Sometimes it is preparation happening quietly. Now the second picture. This image carries questions. When waiting becomes long, doubt begins to grow. You start wondering if you made the wrong choice. You compare yourself with others who seem to be moving ahead. Doubt has a way of making silence feel like failure. But not every delay means denial. Sometimes growth happens where nobody can see it. This picture reminds us that uncertainty is part of being human. Not knowing what comes next does not mean there is no direction. The third picture, this image looks simple, but it speaks loudly. Progress is often invisible. It happens in small decisions made daily. Showing up, trying again, continuing, even when motivation is low. Many people expect growth to feel exciting, but most growth feels ordinary. This picture reminds us that consistency matters more than speed. Small steps repeated over time create change. The fourth picture. Here we see movement again. Trust is not about knowing everything. It is about continuing even without certainty. Life rarely gives guarantees, yet we move forward anyway. This image reminds us that courage is not the absence of fear, it is movement despite fear. Powerful. Sometimes trusting the process simply means taking the next step. And now the fifth picture. This final image feels open. After waiting, after doubt, after effort, hope appears. Not always as a big moment, but as quiet clarity. You realize you have grown. You realize the waiting changed you. Hope is not about everything becoming perfect. It is about believing that the journey still has meaning. This picture reminds us that every season, even slow ones, moves us forward. We are moving. As we close today's picture talk, I want us to have this in mind. Waiting does not mean you're stuck. Sometimes it means life shaping you in ways you cannot yet see. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, keep looking closely because every moment teaches a lesson.